Hey, welcome to Rust Revival Garage. My name is Tim. For those of you new to the channel, this is my 1968 Pontiac LeMans, and I got a few things to do to it to get it ready for car show season, so let's get to it. So this is Grace. She went on last year's Hot Rod Power Tour with me, and she did an amazing job. The only thing that failed during that one was my rear wheel bearing on the passenger side, I believe it was. But we made it home, did all 5 days, everything. So it's time to get her a little bit ready for car shows. Last year was her first car show season. I've had this car for 30 years, and it's probably been since maybe when I had it in LA 30 years ago that it was at a car show. But last year she got to go to Good Guys Columbus and to the Pontiac Nationals and a few other shows. So again, it's not a perfect car. It's 60 years old, and the paint was some Earl Scheib paint job from 1990, maybe $200 special kind of thing. I tried to do a little bit of the Poppy's patina on it to get it some clear coat look back, but there are streaks in it and I did not do a good job. It was my first time trying. But again, it's not perfect, and from far away it looks perfect, but when you get up a little close, it's, you know, she's showing her age. There are just little parts here and there that are not perfect, but it looks pretty darn good, I think. So my neighbors across the street, they have a daughter, and she actually asked me, does your car channel need a mascot? And I said, sure. What would it be? She says, how about a tool? And I said, okay. She's like, I'll make a wrench for you, and the wrench can be your mascot. So real quick, I wanted to share Wrenchy. This is what she made for me. Very cute. Thank you very much. I won't say her name, privacy reasons and all that, but thank you very much for making Wrenchy for me. I like him a lot. One of my biggest concerns is my windshield wipers don't work again. And I don't know if it's a wiring thing or what, but the actual wiper motor is new. I replaced that prior to the power tour, I think, and it's new. Might be a grounding issue, we'll see. But let me give it some juice and see what happens. All right, so we've got electrical. This is the wiper motor. Nothing's happening, but it's been stuck before. See? It's got slow, turns off. But when I go to turn it on, it doesn't always come on. So I don't know. All right, so before it didn't work because I had tapped into the wiper. So now it's just got its own fuse. And I don't know what the problem is. What's stopping it? I've also got to tighten up my speedometer cable in the back of the instrument panel. When I had it out, it wasn't long enough to really attach it well. And so it's making a noise because it's not tight. The problem is there's almost no way for me to get these meat paws in there to really get a good grip on it and tighten it. And as you can see, there's not a whole lot of room down there for me. I'm large. I barely have enough room to sit in this car, much less get down there, but I'm gonna see if I can tighten that. Like right now I am touching it. I know it's kind of dark. Right now I'm touching it, but there's no way to get my fingers around both sides of it to really get in there to tighten it. I wonder if there's something I can put on the tool I can put on there. I'm gonna try this, see if I can get on there to start turning that. There's just no room. Alright, see if I can feel where it's at. Well, 0 for 1 on that one because I just can't get up in there. I mean, I can touch it, but I can't get a tool in there to tighten it, and it's not exactly like easily finger tightening and loosening, so I'm just gonna have to live with that little noise that the speedometer makes. All right, gonna try again with the electric, see if wipers work, and they do. I just don't know why sometimes it's not working. Definitely wanting to change the oil. Yeah, look how dark that is. Just the reason why I stopped driving this car a long time ago was because I actually had a loose intake and coolant was getting down. I thought the head gaskets had blown. So I'm gonna go ahead and, because I've sort of taken the intake off on this and put it back on, then did the power tour last year, I'm gonna actually check and see just to make sure this hasn't loosened up a bit. It was a little loose. Yeah, just a bit. All right, I'm gonna tighten those up. Got the filter cleaned and oiled too, so I'm good to go there. Gotta let it set for a while so it dries out. Should probably check my coolant levels. It's a little low, but not much. I'll add some. A little lower than I thought. Okay, I had to add a little distilled water. And I think we're good. Alright, just because I hate to give up, I'm going to try again on this speedometer cable from this side. Oh hey, I can get to it. You know what? I think I got it tightened. I was able to push on it with one finger and I felt it move a little bit. I just can't get my fingers around. Wish I could just get it around both sides. I can only touch the one side. Alright, that's tighter than it was. Hopefully the sound goes away. We'll check it later. And once I got that speedometer cable tightened, I discovered a new problem. I was underneath the dash, right? Look what's happening. I'm not in the car. The brake lights are on. Yeah, that's no good. All right, so it doesn't look like the little white piece is depressing all the way. Maybe I'll just tighten this down to push it back. All right, got it tightened up so that little white tab is pushed back. Then it comes out. Oops. It comes out, then it goes back. Alright, that's problem solved. I didn't even know I had the problem, but that's gone. Alright, so one of the things I need to do is change the oil. I have to use the Valvoline VR1, you know, with all the zinc and stuff in it. But I also have to kind of go with 2050. This engine is the original 350 to the engine. And it's got 128,000 miles on it. I'm going to start it up so that I can get it warmed up so I can change the oil, but I kind of want you to see when she first starts up, it's burning a little bit of oil. And maybe this fall, winter, I might see if I can try to do a minor rebuild on this myself. I don't know. But that means taking it back out again and doing all the things that you need to do. And I've never done those things before, so we'll see. But hopefully I can... You know, I still have good oil pressure. Going down the highway, it's at about 40 psi, which is not bad, and hovers around 20 or, you know, a little bit lower when you're idling. But again, it's got a lot of miles on it, and it's overheated at least once that I know that I caused. And so yeah, it's not super fast, great high horsepower vehicle or anything like that. It's just basically stock. news is I think I fixed the speedometer noise. I think I may have gotten it tightened up just enough. I don't hear the little shh, 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 shh. Smoke goes away once it starts to get warmed up too. She did sit all winter long, and I think sometimes it just needs to be driven a lot more. I've driven it since, but I need to start driving it more regular so that everything all seals up nice and tight, or as tight as it can. But I'll get her up to temperature so I can change the oil. Just me accelerating slowly, and it's right at about 40, a little over 40 psi on the oil pressure. Something's going on. She's idling way too high. Let me check it out. I think I know what it is. This turned and it was pulling on it. The other thing I noticed is my choke came undone. Test it out and see how it does again. I think I may have a fuel pump issue again. Before I left for the power tour last year on this, I put on a new oil pump. It was pumping way too much high pressure, and black smoke was coming out the back, and it was kind of stalling. When I drove this around, I hit a bump-ish where I was driving, and then all of a sudden it bogged down a little bit, and black smoke started coming out of the tailpipe. I let off a little bit, then got back on it, and it was driving fine again. And so I'm thinking, and this thing's idling really crazy high, and it's not, I haven't adjusted or touched anything on the carb, and it's been driving so far this year fine. But the black smoke is telling me maybe it's that fuel pump again, and you guys know how fuel pumps are right now. This one was a newer one. I think it was on there for 5 minutes. I don't know, I was driving it around and it just kept stalling out. And now I'm thinking that one is bad too. All right, I'm not going to be able to do anything about it in this video, but I still need to change the oil, play around with this a little bit. But yeah, man, I don't want to have to deal with an oil or a fuel pump because you have to buy 5 of them hoping that one of them works. Quality in all these parts these days is just crap. Yeah, it's just crazy to think that this new fuel pump, new-ish, is over pumping again for some reason. But getting the old oil out. Yeah, I do pre-fill the oil filter. It just makes sense to me. And the new oil goes in. Alright, got the oil changed. It was actually the first time I realized that since I put dual exhaust on this that I had to change the oil filter, and it was a lot easier when there was no exhaust pipe in the way. But let's see if I still have this fuel pump issue. It's not idling as high, that's good. And we do have pretty good oil pressure. Gonna take it out and test it again. It's not idling as high, which is good. I don't think the idling was a part of the actual idle control because I never touched it. But I think it was that fuel pump, so I'm gonna have to keep an eye on that. 100 now. It's taking off pretty good. I don't see any black smoke back there. I wonder if it could have been a stuck float bowl. I did tap on it a few times before I started it up, just in case. I don't know. Because it was like it was getting way too much fuel. The other thing it did when I first turned it off is it dieseled a little bit, which tells me that there was too much fuel present when I turned it off. And it wasn't like it was the carburetor itself. I have not touched it or adjusted that in any way. Right about here is where I had trouble last time. No issues this time. Alright, one test is going to be to see if it diesels this time. Nope. Here, what I thought was going to be a simple just maintenance, getting her ready for summer kind of video, and discovered I may have a fuel pump issue. But that's going to do it for this video. I just, like I said, wanted to get some things all straightened out, ready to go. Found some new issues, of course, but that's bound to happen with any old classic car, and Grace is 60 years old. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd appreciate it. Give me a like if you got anything out of the video. Leave me a comment down below if you have any suggestions or questions. And like I said, thanks again for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.